Hey guys, it's Jeff from Pressure Luck, and one of my most popular dishes is a very tangy and unique flavored pot roast that's very popular in many regions of the country called the Mississippi pot roast. Now, I'm not the first person to come up with this dish, I just have my own variation of it. And I thought to myself, you know what would be really great? Making this dish chicken thigh oriented versus just a pot roast. Some people don't want to eat red meat, so guess what? You're gonna have some super juicy thighs instead. Guys, this dish is a sweet and tangy and very, very, very slightly spicy, it's really not spicy at all, sauce that just comes together in ways that I can't even quite describe. You have to taste it for yourself to really understand it. It's absolutely delicious. It's something that's really unlike any other dish, and you're gonna see how easy it is to make in your Instant Pot. Tender, fall apart, delicious chicken adorned with some onions, some banana peppers, peperoncini, and a wonderful, wonderful tangy brown gravy. Let's go right to the Instant Pot and sail on down that Mississippi. Mississippi chicken, it is. So we'll begin with 2 yellow onions, and a bonus if they have a little ponytail like that. And then slice them up long ways and into wedges, so they're sort of like this, and then just peel apart the layers of each wedge so they're on their own individual pieces like that. Alright, moving on. Alright, now let's focus on our chicken. I'm going to use between 2 to 3 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs for this one. Guys, you can use breast if you want, but I strongly suggest thighs for this dish. Trust me on it. Now, I'm not going to dice them up or anything. I'm going to keep the thighs whole. You can totally, if you want, use bone-in thighs, but I would get them skinless if possible. And if you can get the boneless, skinless, even better. Alright, now let's go to the Instant Pot. Now to the Instant Pot, I want to add in 1/4 cup of vegetable oil and 2 tablespoons or 1/4 stick of salted butter. Alright, now we're going to come down to the Instant Pot and hit saute and adjust so we're on the more or the high setting. We just want to give it the oil some heat and give it about 3 minutes of heating up. And once the butter's melted and the oil's sizzling, let's take our chicken and add it in batches to the pot. And we just want to sear the chicken on each side for about a minute. And after about a minute of our chicken searing on one side, take some tongs and flip it over so that the other side gets some love. And again, don't worry about it not being fully cooked. We just want it to have a little bit of a searing color, just like this. Alright, and after another minute of searing on the other side, we're going to remove our chicken to a bowl. That looks lovely. You see that? Nice, slightly golden color. That's all I want. And there we go. Perfect. It should not be fully cooked at all. And then just repeat the same with the rest of the chicken. And alright, there's all of my seared chicken. We're just going to let that rest now. And let's go back to the pot. Take our onions and let's add them in. And then let's stir our onions around in the pot so they're nice and coated with the oil and the butter and some of the chicken renderings. And guys, it's an alternative situation. You don't have to sear the chicken at all. You totally don't have to do that. Instead, you can just add the chicken after you saute the onions. You could start with the onions. It's totally up to you if you want to skip that step. Not necessary to do. I just like to give it a little bit of a texture on the outside of the chicken. Alright? That's all it does. And as we saute our onion in the pot for about 3 to 5 minutes, they're going to begin to release water, and that's going to help us deglaze the bottom of the pot. Because you see, right now we have some chicken stuck on. We don't want that. So just make sure, as we're sauteing our onions, we begin to deglaze or scrape the bottom to get anything up. And after about 3 minutes of sauteing our onions in the pot, we're now going to add in 6 cloves or 2 tablespoons of crushed or minced garlic. And we're going to saute that in the pot for another minute. And as you add the crushed garlic, guys, this actually helps also deglaze the bottom of the pot. The juices from the garlic. And there we go. We're looking good. Now you see the bottom of the pot might be a little bit browned and caked on from some of the garlic and some of the chicken from before. We want to get that nice and smooth. So we add in 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. That's some British sounding fancy sauce. Watch what the magic this thing does. Add it right to the pot. As soon as I add that, guys, it's like an instant deglaze so that it becomes pretty much nice and smooth. That's just what we want. Alright, next step. We're going to add in 2 cups of beef broth. And once you add the beef broth, also deglaze the bottom of the pot. Give it a good scrape. Try to get any bits up that might still remain. This is really going to help you out. And the key to making a Mississippi style dish is to use some either banana pepper slices or peperoncini. In this case, I'm going to use some banana pepper slices. I'm going to take a 16-ounce can worth, and I want to pour myself a 1/2 cup of the juice from the jar and add that to the pot. And then take half the jar of the banana peppers now, and I'm gonna add the other half when we're done cooking, as well as a packet each of au jus gravy mix and ranch dip mix, all right? Let's add that to the pot. And we're gonna stir everything together so everything gets totally combined in there. And now, let's just rest our chicken on top. Add it right back to the mix. And now we're gonna take 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, either light or dark, and we're just gonna sprinkle it on top. And that's all we gotta do before we pressure cook. Let's secure our lid. Make sure that it's in the sealing position. Now let's hit the cancel or the keep warm cancel button depending on your model, and then hit the pressure cook or manual button depending on your model. And we want to go, guys, for 6 minutes at high pressure. So while the chicken's cooking, in a bowl, combine a half a stick or 4 tablespoons of salted butter that's softened. It should be softened. If it's not, pop it in the microwave for about 10 seconds. And 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And this is optional, but for extra spice, I like to add in 1/4 teaspoon of Zatarain shrimp and crab oil concentrate. A little of this goes a really, really long way. And then just take a fork and kind of just mix everything together so that the flour and the butter combine. First it's gonna break up into little pieces, but then it's gonna become smooth, kind of almost like a frosting consistency. You see that? When it's like that, we are done. Set that aside. And now that we're done, we're gonna finish with a quick release. And the pin just dropped, so we're gonna take our lid off. Lovely. And now we're gonna take our chicken out of the pot, remove it with some tongs, and place it in a serving dish. And don't worry, guys, this isn't the same one that I had the raw chicken in before. It's a different one. And there we go. Perfect. Let's just set that aside for now. And now we're gonna focus on our sauce. And now we'll hit the cancel button again, and we'll hit the saute button again to get some bubbling action. And as our pot begins to bubble, that's gonna be our cue to add in our flour frosting, I'll call it. There you go. And then just stir that in, guys. Stir it in until it's completely combined into the gravy, and it's going to thicken it up wonderfully. It's almost like instant thickening gratification. Okay, so as soon as you stirred that in, now kill the heat. And now once again, to kill all the heat, I'm gonna hit the cancel or the keep warm / cancel button depending on your model. That'll turn the pot off. Right, and now we're gonna add in the rest of our banana peppers to give it a little bit more volume. And there we go. Our sauce thickened to the perfect gravy consistency and ready to be draped over our chicken. Speaking of which, here we go. Pour that gravy over our chicken generously. And guys, you're gonna have plenty of that gravy even left over for later. If you wanna add it over some rice or some pasta, it's gonna go great. And then if you wanna top it with a few finishing touch banana peppers, by all means, do. And there it is, guys. Mississippi chicken, all ready to go. Let's try some out. Alright guys, there it is, some Mississippi chicken. I'm just gonna cut this with a fork because it's that easy to do. It's fork tender, look at that. Here we go. This is like a tangy, sweet, slightly vinegary sauce. I can't really describe it other than that. The flavors in this dish are incredibly unique, to say the least. The chicken is cooked to tender perfection. See that? Cooked perfectly. It is such a good sauce, guys. How it would go over, like I said, rice, egg noodles, would be just perfect in terms of pairing. The onions, the banana peppers, or peperoncini. It's a very sassy dish, really. As good as it is making it as a pot roast with some chuck, it's just as good with some chicken. Mississippi chicken is so good, it's gonna have you seeing double. Whether it's a double S, a double P, or a spaced out I, nothing's quite as good as a Mississippi chicken thigh. Lick the plate clean. Dare me to? Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed these videos, check out pressureluckcooking.com because I have a ton of recipes there. I also have a cookbook, so check that out, the step-by-step Instant Pot cookbook with photos of every single step of all 100 recipes with a finished photo for every single recipe. Every single one! Check out facebook.com/pressureluckcooking and like that page for any time a new item drops or a new recipe, anything like that. Check that out. And of course, at PressureLuck to subscribe to me on YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. Alright guys, thank you so much, and I have a date with my plate, licking it clean. See you soon.